The fearless King Simba searching for the mythic oasis. In the vast golden stretches of the African desert, Simba reigns, a fearless young lion with a fiery mane. Since his birth, he has been preparing to become the king of the savannah, just like his father before him. But life sometimes presents unexpected challenges, even to the bravest. One day, when his pride is faced with a relentless drought, Simba feels that his responsibilities towards his family and subjects become heavier than ever. It is then that Majid, an old and wise respected lion, speaks to him about a mythical oasis hidden in the heart of the desert. The water there is abundant and refreshing, offering hope for their pride's renewal. Intrigued and determined, Simba decides to embark on a bold journey to find this oasis. Accompanied by his loyal friends, Timon and Pumbaa, the meerkat and the warthog, Simba ventures into the scorching depths of the desert. The stifling heat and lack of water start to weigh on their spirits, but the young lion's perseverance urges them to keep going. They cross vast sand dunes, confront dust storms, and squeeze through scorching rocks. Throughout their journey, they encounter desert animals, each with their own story and challenges to overcome. They come across the path of Zuri, a wounded gazelle in search of a new member for her herd. Touched by her distress, Simba offers his help and provides her with the protection she needs to lead her herd to a nearby water source. They also meet Rafiki, a wise and mysterious baboon who knows all the secrets of the desert. In his humble hideout, Rafiki shares his wisdom with the young lion and reminds him of the importance of unity and hope in the most difficult moments. The journey continues, sometimes exhausting, sometimes discouraging, but Simba remains focused on his goal. Every evening when they set up their camp under a starry sky, he tells his friends stories about his father and his past greatness. These tales warm their hearts and revive their determination. Finally, after weeks of relentless walking, they catch sight of a green silhouette in the golden expanse of the desert. They rush towards it and discover the mythical oasis that Majid had told them about. A sparkling lake surrounded by lush vegetation awaits them, and a feeling of relief and joy overwhelms them. Throughout their journey, Simba learned a valuable lesson: the importance of perseverance, friendship, and hope when faced with challenges that seem impossible to overcome. He now understands that true greatness lies not only in power or strength, but also in the ability to help others and overcome trials with courage. Back with his pride, Simba shares his experience and newfound knowledge, inspiring each member to believe in their own abilities. Thanks to the young lion's determination and the emergence of this oasis, their pride regains hope and the joy of living despite the hardships of the desert. And so, Simba becomes the long-awaited king, leading his pride towards a prosperous and sunny future. His fiery mane now shines brightly, a symbol of his strength, courage, and wisdom. And the mythical oasis, now a reality, is forever etched in the history of the desert animals, a timeless reminder of the importance of friendship and perseverance to overcome life's challenges.
The Little Owl Leo and the Quest for Incandescent Fireflies. Once upon a time, in an enchanted forest, there was a little owl named Leo. Leo was different from the other owls. He had multicolored feathers and eyes that shone like stars. The other owls were afraid of him and always left him aside. But that didn't bother Leo, because he had a heart filled with kindness and courage. One day, while walking in the forest, Leo noticed something strange. Fireflies were trapped in a mysterious shadow that prevented them from shining. Leo knew that these fireflies were sad, and that they needed help to be freed from this darkness. so he decided to embark on a quest to save them. For days and nights, Leo flew through the forest, searching for clues to free the fireflies. He encountered magical creatures such as goblins, elves, and even a fairy. Each gave him a valuable clue to find the source of the mysterious shadow. Finally, Leo discovered a dark cave deep in the forest. He cautiously ventured inside and found a huge spider named Arachnia. Arachnia was the creator of the shadow that imprisoned the fireflies. She was terrifying, but Leo was not afraid. He kindly asked Arachnia to release the fireflies. She chuckled and told him that he had to go through a series of tests first to prove his worth. Leo accepted, determined to save the fireflies. The trials were tough, but Leo managed to overcome them thanks to his intelligence and creativity. He solved riddles, climbed steep mountains, and crossed tumultuous rivers. In the end, he reached the summit of the mountain, where a magical key awaited him. Using the key, Leo managed to open a door that led to a huge room filled with trembling fireflies. Their small lights were almost extinguished, but they lit up again as soon as they saw Leo approaching. They knew he was the one who would save them. Leo spoke gently to the fireflies and reassured them by promising to bring them back to the forest, where they could sparkle freely. With the help of the fireflies, Leo pushed back Arachnia and destroyed the mysterious shadow once and for all. The forest then lit up with a bright light, and the other owls, witnessing Leo's bravery, could only admire him. Leo had fulfilled his dream of setting the fireflies free, and he was now a hero in the enchanted forest. The fireflies, grateful to Leo, followed him everywhere he went, lighting up his path with their lights. From now on, Leo was no longer alone. He had found a family in the fireflies, and they all lived happily in the magical glow of their love. And so, the story of the brave little owl and the fireflies trapped in the mysterious darkness comes to an end.
The Guiding Stars of Teddy Bear Adventures in the Streets of Paris. Lost in Paris, the stuffed bear Nounours found himself wandering through the bustling streets of the city. He was frantic and didn't know how to find Tom's room, his beloved owner. But Nounours was determined to find his home, so he looked up at the night sky in hopes of finding some clues. It was then that he spotted the sparkling stars in the dark sky. They seemed to shine in a peculiar way, as if they were beckoning to him. Nounours immediately understood that these stars were his guides, and he decided to follow them. Teddy Bear's first stop was the Eiffel Tower. He climbed up the stairs carefully and reached the top. From up there, he had a magnificent view of all of Paris. Teddy Bear then continued his journey by following the stars, which led him through the picturesque streets of Montmartre. He encountered artists and musicians who enlivened the night with their creations. At some point, Nounours found himself facing a mysterious labyrinth. He knew that in order to reach Tom's room, he had to cross it. With courage, he entered the maze and meticulously navigated through it, always following the stars that shone in the sky. After many twists and turns and a few scares, Nounours finally found the exit of the labyrinth. He found himself in a beautiful park with fountains and fragrant roses. The place was so peaceful and serene that Nounours rested for a while, lying down on the soft grass. Back in full force, Teddy Bear resumed his journey and arrived on the banks of the Seine. He stopped for a moment to watch the boats peacefully gliding along the river. Teddy Bear was amazed by the beauty of Paris, but his goal remained to find Tom's room. At the turn of a street, Teddy Bear had another unexpected encounter. He came face to face with a little cat called Mimi. Mimi was adorable, and she seemed to be suffering from the same problem as Teddy Bear. She was lost. Together, they decided to continue their search together. Following the stars, Teddy Bear and Mimi eventually arrived in a calm and residential neighborhood. The stars shone more brightly here. Teddy Bear knew that Tom's room must be close. They passed by several houses until finally Teddy Bear recognized Tom's house. He ran to the front door and tapped it with his paws. A few moments later, the door opened and Tom appeared. He was surprised and delighted to see his precious teddy bear. Tom hugged Teddy Bear, and Mimi rubbed her head against Tom's legs, happy to have also found her home. The trio entered the house, and Teddy Bear found his beloved spot in Tom's bedroom. Teddy Bear and Mimi had crossed Paris together, overcoming obstacles to find their home again. They now knew that their adventures had made them stronger and had bound them with an unbreakable friendship. And from that day on, Nounours and Mimi shared many adventures around the world, but they knew that in the end, their true home was with Tom. Luna, the little adventurous macaw, discovering the hidden treasures of Central America. Once upon a time, there was a little macaw named Luna who lived in a magnificent tropical forest in Central America. Luna was different from the other macaws of her species because she had a bright lunar feather that illuminated her wings when she flew. She loved to fly and explore the vast horizons above the canopy. One day, Luna decided to go on an adventure to discover the hidden wonders of Central America. She flew over dense jungles and winding rivers in search of new horizons. Her journey took her to Guatemala, where she discovered the magnificent Mayan ruins of Tikal. Luna was fascinated by the majestic temples and towering pyramids that reached towards the sky. After spending some time exploring the ruins, Luna resumed her flight and headed towards Belize, where she was amazed by the turquoise waters of the coral reef. She dove into the depths of the ocean and discovered a multitude of colorful tropical fish swimming among the vibrant corals. Luna was delighted to see how beautiful and well-preserved nature was. Luna's journey then led her to Honduras, where she had the chance to discover the mysterious archaeological sites of Copan. She perched on the detailed Mayan sculptures and listened to the ancient stories told by the local inhabitants. Nicaragua was Luna's next adventure destination. She flew over the active volcanoes of the region and landed on the shores of Lake Nicaragua to observe the pink dolphins gracefully swimming in the calm waters. Back in the air, Luna flew over Costa Rica and perched on the giant branches of the tropical rainforest trees. She listened attentively to the howling monkeys and the colorful toucans who told her stories of the jungle. Finally, Luna's journey took her to Panama, where she was enchanted by the famous canal connecting the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. She watched the enormous ships pass through the locks and the other marine animals that lived in the canal's waters. After having explored the most beautiful sights and monuments of Central America, Luna was happy to return home. She brought with her wonderful memories from her trip and new friendships with the animals she had encountered. The little macaw recounted her adventures to her friends in the rainforest, inspiring others to go on an adventure and discover the hidden beauties of the world that surrounded them. Luna then understood that the true treasure was the experience of the adventure itself. From that day on, Luna continued to fly over Central America, guiding other animals in their own adventures. She had become a true heroine, and a source of inspiration for all those who wish to explore the world and uncover its hidden wonders.
The hidden treasure of the green farm. Nestled among the lush green hills, Milo the sheep spent his days lounging peacefully in the rolling meadows of the farm. His life was simple and routine until the day he discovered a mysterious forgotten treasure map in an old barn. With wide eyes of excitement, Milo gathered his farm friends and showed them the map. There were enigmatic marks drawn on a yellowed background, indicating winding paths and hidden corners of the region. Fueled by a thirst for adventure, Milo proposed to his friends to embark on the quest for this legendary treasure. Among them, there was Leon the rabbit, known for his insatiable curiosity, and Clarice the hen, endowed with an extraordinary sense of smell. The three of them were inseparable and formed a close-knit team. They called upon all the animals on the farm, from the cows to the ducks, to successfully complete their playful quest. The initial indications on the map led them to a peaceful grove, where a large tree stump served as a landmark. Scratching the ground at that specific spot, they discovered a small wooden box. With their hearts pounding, they opened it and found sparkling jewels, gold coins, and even sweets. Intrigued by this discovery, the friends realized that their journey was filled with surprises and unexpected connections between the various natural wonders of the region. The map then guided them to a hidden waterfall in the heart of a dense forest. They followed the cascades, jumping from stone to stone until they reached the top of a hill. There, a little old bearded man was waiting for them, seated on a throne of fragrant flowers. He was the guardian of the treasure and explained to them that the quest was not only a search for material wealth, but also an exploration of their own inner world and their connection with nature. Enchanted by his wise words, Milo, Leon, and Clarice understood that the true treasure was that of friendship, discovery, and awareness of the importance of preserving the beauties of their environment. They then promised to never forget this lesson and to remain united, despite the challenges that lay ahead of them. Thus, they returned to the farm, carrying with them the jewels they had found, but also the wisdom and camaraderie gained during their adventure. They shared their story with the other animals on the farm, who were inspired by the courage and determination of their small team. From then on, the farm became a place where mutual aid and respect for nature were emphasized. The animals worked together to create a peaceful and harmonious environment where everyone found their place. Milo, Leon, and Clarice were everyone's heroes, and the young animals on the farm admired them with a mixture of respect and envy. Thus ended their great adventure, but the story of Milo the sheep and his friends was passed down from generation to generation on the farm. And every time a new animal arrived, they would be told this story and quickly became part of the close-knit family of the lush green farm.
The extraordinary adventures of the dog Bingo across the world. Once upon a time, there was a kind cocker spaniel named Bingo. The monotonous life in a small village was no longer enough for him. So one day, Bingo decided to go on a journey to discover the world. His first stop was the magnificent city of New York. He admired the skyscrapers, the sparkling lights, and the bustling atmosphere of this metropolis. After exploring the bustling streets and making new friends, Bingo resumed his journey and headed towards Cancun, Mexico. He lounged on the white sandy beaches, swam in the turquoise waters, and savored delicious tacos. But it was time to continue his adventure. Bingo's next stop was Lima, the capital of Peru. He indulged in ceviche, danced to the rhythm of Latin beats, and visited the incredible ruins of Machu Picchu. The spectacle was breathtaking. However, Bingo craved for more adventures. He then went to Rio de Janeiro, where he had a great time during the famous carnival. He paraded through the streets, adorned with feathers and sequins, danced samba, and partied with the warm-hearted locals. But it was time to say goodbye to Rio, as new destinations awaited him. Bingo boarded a plane and arrived in Johannesburg, South Africa. He went on a safari and encountered majestic lions, imposing elephants, and graceful giraffes. He felt so small among all these wild animals. After the African adventure, Bingo took another flight and landed in Cairo, Egypt. He was amazed by the pyramids, the pharaohs, and the mysteries of this ancient civilization. He also went on a Nile cruise and had surprising encounters with crocodiles. Bingo's next stop was Agra, in India, where he visited the famous Taj Mahal. He strolled through the fragrant gardens, admired the majestic architecture, and made new friends among the sacred cows that roamed the streets. Bingo then headed to Beijing, China, where he marveled at the Great Wall. He tasted exotic dishes, watched dragon performances, and discovered the ancient art of Tai Chi. Bingo's journey was coming to an end, and he decided to conclude his adventure in Tokyo, Japan. He explored the serene gardens, savored delicate sushi, and was captivated by the refined Japanese culture. However, there was one final stop not to be missed. Bingo flew to Sydney, Australia, to witness the spectacular New Year's fireworks. He positioned himself on a hill and watched the colorful lights illuminate the sky. It was a magical moment to conclude his incredible journey. Bingo the Cocker Spaniel had visited so many wonderful places, met extraordinary people and animals, but it was time for him to go back home to his small village. He was full of memories and adventures to tell his friends who eagerly awaited him. And so ended the incredible journey of Bingo, a dog who had discovered the world and would never be the same again.
Leah, the fearless giraffe from the African savannah, to exploring the United States. Once upon a time, there was a little giraffe named Leah. She lived peacefully in the African savannah, surrounded by her family and friends. One day, Leah started dreaming of adventure and discovery. She couldn't help but think about faraway places she had heard of, like the mysterious United States of America. One beautiful morning, Leah decided that it was time to fulfill her dream. She secretly headed towards the nearest airport, determined to visit the United States. After a long plane ride, Leah landed in a bustling city called Los Angeles. The United States was very different from anything Leah had experienced before. The scary skyscrapers and crowded streets intimidated her a bit, But her enthusiasm was stronger than her fear, so she decided to start her journey across the country by exploring the famous Mojave Desert. As she walked in the middle of the desert, Leah felt the overwhelming heat pressing onto her. She didn't know that it was very easy to get lost in this vast desert. After hours of walking, Leah realized that she was lost. Full of courage, Leah decided to climb a hill to have a better view of her surroundings. But the further she advanced, the more she distanced herself from civilization. The sun continued to shine high in the sky, and the heat became increasingly unbearable. After a while, Leah began to hear strange noises. She hurried to follow those sounds and eventually arrived at a small oasis hidden in the middle of the desert. Leah was relieved to have found water to refresh and quench her thirst. However, the giraffe began to understand that she would not be able to go home alone. She was sad and discouraged, but luckily, a family of coyotes came to her rescue. They were kind-hearted and decided to help her find her way. For days and nights, Leah followed the coyotes in their quest to bring her back to civilization. They crossed beautiful landscapes, such as deep canyons and majestic mountains. Leah felt lucky to have met such good friends. Finally, after a long journey, they arrived at a small village on the edge of the Mojave Desert. The locals were welcoming and friendly, and Leah immediately felt at home. She realized that her adventure had been a lesson in humility and perseverance. Leah spent several weeks in the village, sharing her story with the inhabitants, who were fascinated by the tales of her travels. She became friends with many children, who admired her for her bravery and adventurous spirit. But it was time for Leah to return home. With a tear in her eye, she bid farewell to her new friends and resumed her journey back to the African savannah. She carried with her wonderful memories and a newfound wisdom gained from her experience. Back in the savannah, Leah shared her incredible journey with her family and friends. The other animals were delighted to hear her stories and in awe of her tenacity. Leah then understood that no matter where we are, there are always friends ready to help us and make our journey unforgettable. And so, the little giraffe Leah continued to dream, knowing that the adventure never ends as long as there is a story to tell and a world to explore.